I'm Tom Black. Welcome to Story Time. Today I'll be telling a true story from my own past. I call it the Glue Story. I hope you're sitting comfortably. It's 1989, Chichester, at the Jessie Young Husbands School. In Chichester, that is the kind of thing we call our schools. I'm 9 years old. It's time for assembly, but I don't do assemblies because I'm a Jehovah's Witness, and we don't sing hymns or say false prayers. But Mrs. Smith invited me into assemblies after the prayers. I told my mum. Mum was angry and said the teachers were trying to trick me into not loving Jehovah. But I do love Jehovah God. I have to. So, while the other children and the teachers are in the hall down the corridor, I'm in the classroom, alone. I have a book to read. It is some number puzzles. I'm bored by the number puzzles. I don't think I really have to do them, so I don't do them. I look up for my puzzles, and everything is quiet. This will be how classrooms look at the end of the world. Everything will still be here. But there will be no more other children, because they're all dead. But it's okay. No one will be sad, because their families will also all be dead. The classroom might be on fire or falling through earthquakes at the end of the world. There are more earthquakes now than ever before, as everything gets worse all the time. That is a sort of Jehovah's Witness rule. I stand up, and this is funny, because normally I'd need permission. I'm a little bit walking around. If I want, I can go to the corner where Sadie sits, so this is what I do. I like Sadie, even though I'm not meant to like girls, because they can make you immoral or give you AIDS. I still think that. I sit in Sadie's chair, and this makes me smile. Then I can walk around to the teacher's area, where the cupboards are, and so that is what I do. There are some glue bottles. And I stay still and look round the classroom. There's no one coming. The glue bottles are just washing up liquid bottles, it's obvious. I pick a bottle up and walk over to Ian's desk. Ian sits near me, but I don't like him as he has a stupid round head and is a boff. He already looks bald, even though he's only 9, and he studies hard and answers the teacher's questions. This isn't real intelligence. This is just looking clever because you read books all the time. If you're really clever, you don't need to read anything. You just know it, or you can work it out, like I do. Ian probably does number puzzles for fun. What a prick Ian is. What's happened? But that wouldn't happen to Ian. Probably worked out a system. The desks in the classroom are the old ones, with a lid that opens up. And Ian's books are inside. I place the glue bottle against the inkwell hole that leads down to his books. No one uses inkwells anymore. So I squeeze the bottle to squirt some glue. This makes me really smile, but I don't look inside because I can imagine it, and glue is also slow, so it will need some time. I squirt loads. I'm excited and smiling. I stand there quietly, and there's still no one here. Now I can move over to the cloakroom, so that is what I do. The cloakroom is where we keep our personal belongings, so I pick a couple of children that I don't like. Pouring glue down the arms of children's coats is even more fun because coats are special to the children. I do Stuart's because he is boring, and Matt's because he never talks. There is lots of time before assembly finishes, so I squirt more glue into other children's lunch boxes, coat pockets, plimsolls, and also more coats. I don't even pick people anymore, just squirt it wherever I like. I need a second glue bottle. So I can deal with more desks, and I open them up to create a glue waterfall. It runs from a thick line at the top and loops to the bottom of their cubbyhole, sticking to everything. I use a third bottle to give more shoes, to glue more shoes. Read it first, Tom. Glue more shoes. And lunchboxes. And lunchboxes. And then I'm done. There isn't really anything else left to glue. So I sit down and wait. I'm a bit nervous, but in a funny way that makes me smile. I hear the assembly doors, and then there is a pause. Why aren't there footsteps yet? Only talking. Then now I can hear footsteps coming, and I know the other children will be here soon. Maybe I a little bit wish I could remove all the glue with tissues. But it's too late. The class files into the room, not in any proper order like they're meant to, and everyone sits at their desks. Mrs. Smith asks everyone to settle down, please, and stands at the front to give the morning's lesson. I sit there too, like any other child, and I hope it stays like this all day and no one ever knows. I'm taking everything in. All the things people say and how they move. Everyone has glue all over their things. And I know this. And I think very soon they will all know this too. I just sit there like normal, but feel super alert. Ian is the first person to say something. Mrs. Smith, I think there's glue in my desk. I look surprised and a little bit confused as Mrs. Smith walks over to see what he is talking about. Straight away, someone near the cloakroom raises their voice too. They have glue in their lunchbox. We aren't meant to be in the cloakroom unless it's a break. But I don't say this because now probably isn't the time. Soon, a lot of children have discovered glue in their desks, and all the children want to check their lunchboxes. They weren't meant to discover them until lunchtime. Things are beginning to feel out of my control. Mrs. Smith says no one can move unless she says so, and this is really good news, because I think we'll all just move on and do something fun and forget all about it. Actually, where the story ends. But then Mrs. Smith asks some children to check their belongings. And then she asks other children too. And so I suppose she will do this for everyone. I check my things, but they seem okay. Everyone has now found out about their things, how ruined they are. The other children are most worried about their coats, which is what I thought. They might not ever be able to wear them ever again. Also their shoes. Ian asks if it was me, and I say no. Mrs. Smith goes, calm down, as this is very serious, and actually because she's doing quite a bad job of managing the situation. She looks at me. This all happened while we were in assembly, Tom, and you were the only one here. Do you know anything about this? No, I don't. Are you sure, Tom? It must have taken someone time to put glue in all these things, and you were here that whole time. Are you certain you didn't see anything? I didn't see anything, Mrs. Smith. Okay, she says. That's strange. Yes, I say. I think that's strange too. We'll have to start the lesson now, she says, and come back to this later. She looks at the whole class. We'll tell all your parents what happened at the end of the day. During the day, the other children ask me about the gluing, and they ask if it was me. They say that I was the only one here, but also they will believe me if I say I didn't do it. And so that is what I say. Sometimes someone finds something new covered in glue, and each time they put their hand up to tell everyone. When it is lunch, it happens most. At the end of the day, I wait for the other children to go so I can speak to Mrs. Smith. You know, earlier, with the glue. Yes, Mrs. Smith does remember. It was me. I'm sorry. She stops for a second. Thank you for being honest with me, Tom. Why did you do it? I don't know. Okay, she says. After that, I wasn't allowed in the classroom on my own or during assemblies. I had to be supervised in the library, like some sort of common criminal. The fallout with the parents lasted a few weeks, with some parents demanding reimbursement for their belongings, but none of that ever reached me directly. I didn't tell my mum until I was 32. All she said was, "Oh, that was you." Now I look back. The important thing is that I learnt a lesson. An important life lesson. A moral lesson. Which is, if I feel like I want to cover everything in glue, I can do that.